My name is John. I get to manage this airplane, and I love it. This is one of the most special airplanes on the face of the earth. This is an original Ford Trimotor. This was born in 1929 on September 4th. Just over 3.5 weeks ago, it turned 81 years old. This airplane worked for the Ford Motor Company for about the first 2 years. It was born in September of 29. What happened in October 29? Stock crash, bad things. They were unable to sell the airplane. They used it as a factory demonstrator for its first 260 hours or so, just over 2 years. Then they sold it finally to Pan Am. Heard of them? Pan Am? Heard of them? Pan Am took the airplane down to Mexico, took it down to Guatemala, Honduras area, and it worked in Central America until almost 1950. So from 31 to 50, it worked out south of the border. Came back to the States in 50. We've had the airplane since 77. So from 50 to 77, it flew people like this called barnstorming. It's been in several movies. If you want to see a horrible movie, go rent it. It's worth it because the airplane's in it. But Mel Brooks made a movie called To Be or Not to Be. You ever seen that? It's horrible. It's a typical Mel Brooks movie. But the airplane was in that movie, actually. They took women's silver hairspray, painted out our rainbow in 414 Hotel in Ford, and put on Hitler's swastika. Mel Brooks actually pretended to be Adolf Hitler, and he impersonated him and kind of defected from Australia. It's horrible. But he did fly in this airplane to England and Liberty. Yeah, good. This is a beautiful airplane. This airplane has been working with our operation since 1977, primarily to share it with folks like you. Your contribution, everything you've donated, goes straight into this airplane. And it takes a lot to operate this airplane. It's very basic, big airfoil, right? Big wing, 77.5 feet long from tip to tip. It does not take much air to get over the wing to get it off the ground. It loves to fly. It's a beautiful flying airplane. Besides flying, it also does one other thing exceptionally well. It converts a lot of fuel to a lot of noise. Perfectly. And it will be loud in there. So for those of you lucky on our last flight to be in the cabin, you'll feel it, it'll shake, it'll be very loud, but it's a beautiful thing. It's the sound of freedom. Mike's going to take you up, convert a lot of fuel to noise, take you over to Sedona. We have had a few phone calls, people wondering why we're making so much noise, so when you get a chance and it comes out in the letter to the editor next week, you write them back and you say, that was the best thing I ever did in my life. Okay? Yay, aviation. Thank you. This is one of the 2 exits that we have on board. This is the door. We're going to use this one. There's also an emergency exit above Tom in the right seat of the cockpit. There's 2 fire bottles on board. There's one in the back. There's also one under Tom's seat. Okay? Seat belts, they are required. Put them on. Keep them on. Okay? Seat belts low and tight. Insert the 5 metal buckle in the end. You know how it all works. Okay? Any questions about this airplane? Yes, sir.
How many did they make?
There was 199 of these produced between 1926 and 1931. So they did make about 40 after this one. This is the 155th off of that famous assembly line. You're familiar with the Ford Motor Company's assembly line. This was 155 out of 199. So in the next 2 years, they made about another 40 plus, and then the DC-2 came around and DC-3 and put this airplane out of business, basically. The airplane cannot get up high, it cannot go fast, it can't get over weather like a DC-2 or DC-3 or Constellation could. So it really had a hard time surviving after the Great Depression, and then again with the competition of the Douglas airplanes and soon to be Boeing, it was very difficult. Of the 199, there was only one made with smooth skin. You notice this corrugation. Why would they do corrugation? Why would you corrugate something? Why would you do that? Strength. This is the first all-metal commercial airplane. This is the first all-metal airplane. They had no idea. They thought, man, if we corrugated it, might add a lot of strength. So that's one reason. The other reason, documented reason that they did it, they thought it would be more aerodynamic, which is an absolute bunch of junk. There's no way this thing is aerodynamic. This thing just hangs. It cannot get out of its own way. You're going to take off about 89 miles an hour, you're going to cruise about 90 miles an hour, and you're going to land about 89 miles an hour. That's all you're going to do. And convert all that fuel to noise. Right? That's about all it's going to do. But while you're doing that, I want you to imagine what it was like 81 years ago to check in at Grand Central Station in New York, and 48 hours later be in LA. That was amazing, right? That's quite miraculous when you think about it. You know, I tell people all the time, my ancestors crossed the plains with wagons and handcarts and walked in the mid-1800s. The kids on that trek could fly in their lifetime in 2 days from New York to LA. And 40 years later, Neil Armstrong was standing on the moon. This airplane started most of that. This is the Genesis. This is the beginning of commercial airplanes as you know it. It is equivalent to a Boeing 777 today. This is equivalent to the jumbo jet of 1929. So enjoy that, feel that, hopefully step back in this time machine. Again, thank you for your contribution. It is a tail dragger. We want to get the tail off the ground. That means we need all the weight forward. So I want all... I'll get you in the very back. That's good. Yeah, hold on just a second. About 70.
I'll be alright then.
Seatbelt. Hold on. You can go on. Go.
Oh, is that where these are for us?
These are for us.
Perfect. And we'll get Shana right in there on the left.
This is a movie, say something. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing.
Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, that is funny looking. Same here.
enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah.